Yuttanam atmanam srujamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Om Rama Devi Sameta Shri Satyanarayana Swamine Namo Namaha. Offer the flowers. Om Rama Devi Sameta Shri Satyanarayana Swamine Namaha. Avahito Bhava Rama Devi Sameta Shri Satyanarayana Swamine Namaha. Stapito Bhava Rama Devi Sameta Shri Satyanarayana Swamine Namaha. Sannihito Bhava Rama Devi Sameta Shri Satyanarayana Swamine Namaha. Suprasanno Bhava Rama Devi Samet Shri Satyanarayana Swamine Namaha. Suprasanno Varado Bhava. Ring the bell. Idam Vishnur Vichakrame Treta Nitade Padam Samuda Matchapagum Sure Avahayami Asanam Samarpayami Ratna Simhasanam Samarpayami. Drop a couple, put couple drops of water. Ratna Simhasanam Samarpayami Padayoho Padyam Samarpayami at the lotus feet. Padayoho Padyam Samarpayami at the hand, at the palm. Hastayoho Argyam Samarpayami Stapayami Snanam Panchamruta Snanancha Karishye. So, you want everyone to do the Abhishekam or only the Yajaman will do that?
I have for everybody also, and I have the murtis.
Okay, so keep the murti and on the murti pour all the mix together, 5 ingredients, and everybody can line up, so everybody can take a stretch break.
First, I have the separate ingredients for the Yajman. Then everybody can come and do a little bit.
Okay, so we will be chanting Narayana Upanishad. Atha Narayana Upanishad. Whoever knows, you can join me chanting that. Om Panchamrita Snanancha Karishyamaha. Atha Purusho Havai Narayano Kamayata Praja Srujayeti. Narayanat Prano Jayate Manas Sarvendriyani Cha Khamvayur Jyotirapah Prathivi Vishwasya Dharini. Narayanat Brahma Jayate Narayanat Rudro Jayate Narayanadindro Jayate Narayanat Prajapatayah Prajayante Narayanat Dvadashaditya Rudra Vasavas Sarvani Chanda Gumsi Narayana Deva Samutpadyante Narayane Pravartante Narayane Praliyante. Oh, everybody say Narayanaha. Narayanaha Athanitya Narayanaha Brahma Narayanaha Shivascha Narayanaha Shakrascha Narayanaha Yava Prutivyaucha Narayanaha Kalascha Narayanaha Dishascha Narayanaha Urdhvascha Narayanaha Adhascha Narayanaha Antarbahishcha Narayanaha Narayanaye Vedagam Sarvam Yadbhutam Yacha Bhavyam Nishkalo Niranjano Nirvikalpo Nirakhyata Shuddho Devayeko Narayanaha Nadvitiyosti Kaschita Ya evam Veda Sa Vishnureva Bhavati Sa Vishnureva Bhavati Om Ityagre Vyaharet Nama iti Paschat Narayana Etyuparishtat Om Ityekaksharam Nama iti dve akshare Narayana Pancha Aksharani एतद्वै नारायणस्याष्टाक्षरं पदम् यो ह वै नारायणस्याष्टाक्षरं पदमध्येति अनपब्रवः सर्वमायुरेति विन्दते प्राजापत्यगुराय स्पोषं गौपत्यम् ततो मृतत्वमश्नुत इति य एवं वेद प्रत्यगानन्दं ब्रह्म पुरुषं प्रणवस्वरूपम् अकार उकार मकार इति तानेकदा समभरत्तदेतदोमिति यमुक्त्वा मुच्यते योगी जन्म संसार बन्धनात्। ओम नमो नारायणायेति मंत्रोपासकः वैकुंठ भुवन लोकं गमिष्यति तदिदं परं पुंडरीकं विज्ञानगणं तस्मात् तदिदावन्मात्रं ब्रह्मण्यो देवकी पुत्रो ब्रह्मण्यो मधुसूदनो सर्वभूतस्तमेकं नारायणं कारण रूपमकार परब्रह्म एतदतर्वशिरो योधीते प्रातरदीयानो रात्रिकृतं पापं नाशयति सायमदीयानो दिवसकृतं पापं नाशयति माध्यन्दिनमादित्याभिमुखो दीयानः पञ्चपातकोपपातकात् प्रमुच्यते सर्ववेदपारायण पुण्यं लभते नारायण सायुज्यमवाप्नोति नारायण सायुज्यमवाप्नोति य एवं वेद इत्युपनिषत्। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। रमा देवी समेत श्री सत्यनारायण स्वामिने नमः। अन्योन्य सहायेन पंचामृत स्नानं समर्पयामि। विष्णोर्नुकं वीर्याणि प्रवोचं यः वाणि विममे रजागुंसि यो अस्कभायदुत्तरगुं सदस्त वेदोर्गायो विष्णोरराटमसि विष्णो पृष्ठमसि विष्णो स्न्यप्ते स विष्णो स्यूरसि विष्णो ध्रुवमसि वैष्णवमसि विष्णवे त्वा। ओम शांति शांति शांति। 9 times everybody be seated and chant Om Namo Narayanaya, the Ashtakshari mantra, 8 letters. In Vishnu Sahasranama, they give the importance of Narayana mantra. Artha Vishanna Shitilascha Bhitaha Ghoreshu cha Vyadishu Vartamanaha Sankirtya Narayana Shabda Matram Vimukta Dukkhaha Sukino Bhavantu. Om Namo Narayanaya. 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 All right. So, Vastra, is it all cleaned up?
No, not cleaned up.
Okay, okay.
Cleaned up.
Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare He Nath Narayana Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare. He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Radhe Govinda. Radhe Govinda Bhajo, Radhe Gopal. 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 Rama Devi Samet Shri Satyanarayana Swamine Namaha. Panchamrita Snanam Samarpayami. Offer the flower petals for each one of the step. Imam Vasrani Pivasa Vasade. Ivorachid Ramanto Sarga. Avate Ratam Bhutani Vishwa. Varunakshadede Vastrayugmam Samarpayami. Yajnopavitam Paramopavitram Prajapaderyat Sahajam Parastat Ayishyam Utrimam Padimuncha Shubhram Yajnopavitam Balamastu Tejaha Yajnopavitam Samarpayami Nana Vida Dravyani Samarpayami Chandan Gandhatvaranduradharasham Nityapushtam Kadeshini Ishwarim Sarvabhutanam Tamyopavahେ Shriyam Divya Parimala Gandhandarayami Malyadini Sugandhini. If you have a garland, Malyadini Sugandhini Maditya Jena Chakrava Maya Vratani Pujatam Pushpani Samarpayami Sahiratna Sutarchate Saharchate Sahitabhagaha Tam Bhagam Chitnani Vahe Abharanani Samarpayami Pushpani Samarpayami Akshatan Samarpayami Haridra Kunkuma Churnam Samarpayami Ashtotara Shatanamavali Pujancha Karishyamaha. How are you all doing so far? All right, beautiful. Now I'm going to read the 108 names of Satyanarayana Swami. Once again, if you all want to come and offer flower petals, you can do that, or you can save it for the Pushpanjali at the end. Your choice, and Meeraji can take the decision. All right. At least one person has to offer a flower petal when we hear the word Namaha. Okay. Ashtotara Shatanamavali Pujancha Karishyamaha. Om Shri Satyanarayana Namaha. Give me 1 second, I'll get the right one. Satyanarayana Swami Ashtotara Shatanamavali Puja. Oh,
Yeah. Indraji, can you bring some more flowers? Kids, line up, kids. Right hand. Taking your right hand.
Okay. Ready? Om Shri Satyadevaya Namaha. Om Satyatmane Namaha. Om Satyabhutaya Namaha. Om Satyapurushaya Namaha. Om Satyanathaya Namaha. Om Satyasakshine Namaha. Om Satyayogaya Namaha. Om Satyagnanaya Namaha. Om Satyagnanapriyaya Namaha. Om Satyanidaye Namaha. Om Satyasambhavaya Namaha. Om Satyaprabhave Namaha. Om Satyeshwaraya Namaha. Om Satyakarmane Namaha. Om Satya Pavitraya Namaha. Om Satya Mangalaya Namaha. Om Satya Garbhaya Namaha. Om Satya Prajapataye Namaha. In case you run out of flower petals, you can offer the akshata, 1 grain of rice at a time. Om Satya Vikramaya Namaha. Om Satya Siddhaya Namaha. Om Satyachutaya Namaha. Om Satya Viraya Namaha. Om Satya Bodhaya Namaha. Om Satya Dharmaya Namaha. Om Satyagrajaya Namaha. Om Satya Santushtaya Namaha. Om Satya Varahaya Namaha. Om Satya Parayanaya Namaha. Om Satya Purnaya Namaha. Om Satya Aushadaya Namaha. Om Satya Shashvataya Namaha. Om Satya Pravardhanaya Namaha. Om Satya Vibhave Namaha. Om Satya Jyeshtaya Namaha. Om Satya Shreshthaya Namaha. Om Satya Vikramane Namaha. Om Satya Dhanvine Namaha, Om Satya Medhaya Namaha, Om Satya Dishaya Namaha, Om Satya Kratave Namaha, Om Satya Kalaya Namaha, Om Satya Vatsalaya Namaha, Om Satya Vasave Namaha, Om Satya Meghaya Namaha, Om Satya Rudraya Namaha, Om Satya Brahmane Namaha, Om Satya Amrutaya Namaha, Om Satya Vedangaya Namaha, Om Satya Chaturakmane Namaha, Om Satya Bhoktre Namaha, Om Satya Shuchaye Namaha, Om Satyarchitaya Namaha, Om Satyendraya Namaha, Om Satya Sangaraya Namaha, Om Satya Swargaya Namaha, Om Satya Niyamaya Namaha, Om Satya Medhaya Namaha, Om Satya Vedyaya Namaha, Om Satya Piyushaya Namaha, Om Satya Mayaya Namaha, Om Satya Mohaya Namaha, Om Satya Suranandaya Namaha, Om Satya Sagaraya Namaha, Om Satya Tapase Namaha, Om Satya Simhaya Namaha, Om Satya Mrigaya Namaha, Om Satya Lokapalakaya Namaha, Om Satya Sthitaya Namaha, Om Satya Dikpalakaya Namaha, Om Satya Dhanurdharaya Namaha, Om Satyambujaya Namaha, Om Satya Vakyaya Namaha, Om Satya Gurave Namaha, Om Satya Nyayaya Namaha, Om Satya Sakshine Namaha, Om Satya Samvrtaya Namaha, Om Satya Sampadraya Namaha, Om Satya Vanhaye Namaha, Om Satya Vayave Namaha, Om Satya Shikharaya Namaha, Om Satyanandaya Namaha, Om Satyadhirajaya Namaha, Om Satya Shri Padaya Namaha, Om Satya Guhyaya Namaha, Om Satya Udaraya Namaha, Om Satya Hridayaya Namaha, Om Satya Kramalaya Namaha, Om Satya Naraya Namaha, Om Satya Hastaya Namaha, Om Satya Bahave Namaha, Om Satya Mukhaya Namaha, Om Satya Jihvaya Namaha, Om Satya Damshraya Namaha, Om Satya Nashikaya Namaha, Om Satya Shrotraya Namaha, Om Satya Chakshase Namaha, Om Satya Shirase Namaha, Om Satya Mukutaya Namaha, Om Satyambaraya Namaha, Om Satyabharanaya Namaha, Om Satya Yudhaya Namaha, Om Satya Shri Vallabhaya Namaha, Om Satya Guptaya Namaha, Om Satya Pushkaraya Namaha, Om Satyadi Rajaya Namaha, Om Satya Shri Vallabhaya Namaha, Om Satya Bhamavatarakaya Namaha, Om Satya Graha Rupine Namaha, Om Shri Satya Praharana Yudhaya Namaha, Om Shri Satyanarayana Swamine Namo Namaha, Ashtottara Shatanamavali Pujan Samarpayami. For Rama Devi, who is Mahalakshmi, we will chant the 8 verses of Mahalakshmi Ashtakam. Those of you who know, you can join me. If not, just offer the flower to both the Lakshmi Narayana. Om Namaste Stu Mahamaye Shipite Surapujite Shankha Chakra Gadahaste Mahalakshmi Namostute Namaste Garudarude Kolasura Bhayankari Sarva Papa Hare Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute Sarvagne Sarva Varade Sarva Dushta Bhayankari Sarva Dukkha Hare Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute Siddhi Buddhi Prade Devi Bhukti Mukti Pradayini Mantramurti Sada Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute Adyantarahite Devi Adishakti Maheshwari Yogagne Yoga Sambhute Mahalakshmi Namostute Tula Sukshma Maharudre Mahalakshmi Mahodare Mahapapa Hare Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute Padmasanastite Devi Parabrahma Swarupini Parameshi Jagannatha Mahalakshmi Namostute Shvetambardhare Devi Nanalankara Bhushite Jagastite Jagannataha Mahalakshmi Namostute Mahalakshmi cha Vidmahe Vishnupatni cha Dhimahi Tanno Lakshmi Prachodayat Lakshmi Narayanaya Namo Namaha Rama Devi Sameta Shri Satyanarayana Swamine Namaha Ashtottara Shatanamavali Pujan Samarpayami. Now the next 3 things are Dhupa, small diya, then Naivedyam. For Naivedyam, do you have the special halwa that was prepared for this puja? Or any bhog that you have? Okay, Dhupam. Om Vanaspatir Bhavadivye Nana Gandhe Samidam Agreya Sarva Devanam Dhupoyam Pratikrakyatam Dhupamakrapayami Om Uddhi Ipyasya Jataveda Bhaknam Nirvritim Mama Pashoguhyamahymavaha Jivanancha Disho Disha Deepam Darshayami Dhupadipanantaram Achamaniyam Samarpayami Pushpani Samarpayami. The main part of the puja is the Mahaprasadam. You are going to do the bhog offering. When we do that, everybody put your hand together. You all know what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita is Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam. Patram is all the leaves that we offer, like Bilva Patra, mango leaves, Am Patta, everything we keep on offering. But do we ever pay attention? Pan Patta and all those. Then the second one is Pushpam. When we offer the Pushpam, we just keep on putting the flower petals, right? And sometimes we even cover the Murti, cover the picture. We don't even know who we have in the picture. We cover the flower with so much of flowers onto the picture, onto the Murti. The third one is Pushpam Phalam. We got all kinds of flowers. We have mangoes, apples, oranges, peach, plum, and everything. The last one is the Toyam, the water that we offer. Samarpayami, 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 right? But in reality, when we do the Patram, we have to offer all our thoughts that we have in our head in the form of the leaves. Patra. Patra means all our thoughts. Pushpa means all our desires in the form of the fragrance that we get from the flowers. Then the phalam is not just the fruits that we offer, it is the karma phalam. Karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Don't ever expect the fruits of the action, offer it to the Lord. When we offer that little apple or the banana or the peach or the plum, we have to offer the fruits of our actions. If we do all these three things right, we should get tears coming out of the eyes. Ashru Jalam. That is the one we offer it to the Lord in the form of the Toyam. Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yo me bhaktya prayachati. Okay, so now you sprinkle water on that for purification by chanting the Gayatri mantra, and then make a circle like a border, because we don't want anything else to enter into the food. Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Yo Yo Naha Prachodayat Devasavita Prasuva Satyanta Vritena Parshinchami. Hold your hand like this. And that is the mudra for Kamadhenu. Kamadhenu is the cow that was owned by Vasishta Muni, which was giving all kinds of fruit, and you offer it from your heart and to the Lord. Om Pranaya Swaha. Everybody say Swaha. Om Pranaya Swaha. Om Apanaya Swaha. Om Vyanaya Swaha. Om Udanaya Swaha. Om Samanaya Swaha. Om Brahmane Swaha. Brahmanima Atma Amritatvaya. Om Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi. Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam. Brahmaiva tena gantavyam. Brahma karma samadhina. Aham Vaishvanaro bhutva. Praninam dehamashritaha. Pranapana samayuktaha. Pachamyannam chaturvidam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now you offer water, 1 spoon of water at a time. All of you say Samarpayami. Madhye Madhye Achamaniyam Samarpayami. Uttara Poshanam Samarpayami. Hasta Prakshan Samarpayami. Pada Prakshan Samarpayami. Punarachamaniyam Samarpayami. Pushpam. Suvarna Pushpam Samarpayami. If you have beetle leaves and the supari, Pugi Pala Samayuktam Nagavalidalairitam Karpura Churna Sanyuktam Tambulam Pradigrakyatam Pugi Pala Tambulam Samarpayami. Karpura Niranjanam, the grand one, and we will do the main Arati at the end of the puja by everybody. Sangrahanyeshtya yajate imam janat agam sangranhanite dvadasharatni rashana bhavati dvadashamasa samvatsarah samvatsarameva varundhe munji bhavati urgvai munja ऊर्ध्वमेवा वरुन्धे चित्रा नक्षत्रं भवति चित्रं वा एतः कर्म यदश्वमेधः समृद्ध्ये जय बोलो रमा देवी समेत श्री सत्यनारायण स्वामी भगवान की. All right, so everybody take Arati. Now we are going to have the 5 chapters of Sri Satyanarayana Swami. All right. It's a tradition that we listen to the 5 chapters of Sri Satyanarayana Swami Katha. It has become a practice in North India. They use the whole thing as Katha. They call and say, Panditji, can you do a Katha in my house? That means it is the Satyanarayana Swami Katha. And we have to do all this puja and then the Katha. But in reality, South India, they say Satyanarayana Swami Vrata. Vrata is the pledge that you are doing and the commitment or the dedication that you show by doing the entire 16 steps of the puja. Then you listen to the Katha. The first chapter is the introductory chapter where they say that there was a book called as Skanda Purana. Skanda Purana is the one that has all the stories listed in there. In that there is a chapter called as Reva Kanda. In the Reva Kanda, the person who is narrating the story, his name is Suta Maharshi. Suta Maharshi is like a walking encyclopedia. You just go to him and ask a question. He will thank you for that question and start narrating the answer in the form of a story. Suta Maharshi says that there was a place called as Naimisha Aranya in North India, right in between Lucknow and Kanpur in UP. That place was chosen by all the sages and whoever want to seek the inner vision. They used to go there and sit for yajna, dana, and tapas. It is like when you have the Wi-Fi password and you go there, the Wi-Fi password kicks in, right? The same way, Naimisharanya is the place where this Wi-Fi kicks in. They connect with the Lord. And there, a group of sages headed by Sanaka Muni, Sanakadi. They say Sanaka and his group of sages called as Sanakadi. Sanakadika Garudadika Bhutadika Sange Om Hara. Sanaka Muni. Sanaka Muni called all the sages and he said, this universe need Kalyanam, Loka Kalyanam. So why don't we perform a yajna and offer everything, swaha, 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 and we will pray for only one thing, is loka samasta sukhino bhavantu, or samasta lokaha sukhino bhavantu, swaha, swaha, idan namama, nothing is ours, it's all yours. But they didn't see the happiness or the peace and the joy anywhere. Everywhere there is distress, disaster, disturbance. People were crying because there were misunderstandings, fights were going on, hurricanes, tornado, tsunami. On the top of that, family tsunami is the worst thing that can happen. So Sanaka Muni said, stop the yajna right now. Let us pray to Bhagavan Vishnu. Look at the Satyanarayana Swami picture right there in front of you. The person standing in the middle is Bhagavan Vishnu. What does he look like? Sashanka, Chakra, Sakirita, Kundalam, Sapita Vastram, Sarasiro Hekshanam. That is the chapter 1 right there. Bhagavan Vishnu, they pray to him. All the kids make a note. They say Bhagavan Vishnu is God. Who is God? God stands for generator, operator, and destroyer of all our sins. And here Bhagavan Vishnu is the protector, creator, protector, and destroyer. So protector, he sent his messenger Naradji. Miraji, point to Naradji, who is on the right side of Bhagavan Vishnu. Naradji came to Bhuloka and he assured everybody that say, I will go back. You can put it down now. Your hand will, I'll let you know again when you can lift it up.
I want the children to know because
He said, I will go back to Bhagavan Vishnu and I will tell him what you are all doing. So he will give us the message, what you are supposed to do next. So what does Naradji always say? He hold his kartal and he said, Narayana, Narayana. So now the chapter begins. Bhagavan Vishnu says, yes, I am Narayana. Who is Narayana? Nara, Ayana, Narayana. Nara is the human being. Ayana means transportation or transformation or the travel or the journey that we take from point A to point B to reach the final goal. Tomorrow is called as Dakshinayana Punyakala. Dakshina Ayana. Nara Ayana. Rama Ayana. Ayana means the journey. Sun will travel tomorrow going southbound from Tropic of Cancer all the way down to Tropic of Capricorn. And in January 14th, you will start from the top to the bottom. So it's from bottom to the top. So it is southbound or northbound. Okay, Uttarayana and Dakshinayana. So he says, I am Narayana. So what is the big difference between Nara and Narayana? Bhagavan Vishnu says, Nara is always getting and forgetting. Narayana is the godly quality, giving and forgiving. Then you become one with Narayana. Narayana Sayujyam Avapnoti. Sriman Narayana Sayujyam Avapnoti. How do we get the Sayujyam? Samipyam, Sarupyam, Salokyam, and Sayujyam. Samipyam means you make an effort to go one step forward towards the God. What happens if you go one step? God will come 10 steps towards you. Sarupya means you want to look like him. Salokya means everywhere you see only Bhagavan. God here, God there, God everywhere. You all know that song, right? And then Sayujya means you merge with the Lord. Narayana Sayujya Mavapnoti. Okay, so chapter 1, Bhagavan Vishnu says, whoever so on a full moon day or any time in the morning or in the evening with family and friends, whenever you think of me, just perform Sri Satyanarayana Swami Puja and you have to prepare a special prasad called as the Sapada Bhakshya. Sapada means offered at the lotus feet of Bhagavan. He gave the recipe for that. So wherever you go, whenever you taste that halwa, you will know that it is performed because it was used for Satyanarayana Swami Puja. In South India, they call it as kesari. In North India, they call it as halwa. In Gujarat, they call it as shira. In Bengali, they call it as shinni, churi. There are so many names, but he says, whoever so offer this and do the puja with bhava and bhakti. Bhava is the intention and bhakti is the devotion, must go together. One of my friends used to say, your intentions must be always good. If it is not good, then you will be intention. Intention. Okay. So Naradji brought the message to Sanaka Muni. They performed the Sri Satyanarayana Swami Puja for the first time. What a glorious puja. Sri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare. And they finished the puja and they could see everybody Sat Chit Ananda in full bliss. So that finishes the first chapter. Normally in South India, they have a tradition that for every chapter you have to ring the bell and light the lamp and break a coconut, and the person goes outside and he breaks the coconut and he comes back and shows his thumb down because the coconut is bad. Sevan, Sobi coconut did not work. So one place when I did the puja, they broke all the 5 coconuts for chapter 1. So I said, no more coconuts, no more puja, just put your hand together, break this coconut and get the story. Understand the legacy, the legendary aspect of Satyanarayana Swami Puja. Chapter 2, they are giving 2 very good examples. First one is of a Brahmana. There was a Brahmana living in Kashi. This Brahmana is not like, Brahman ji, Pandit ji, Chandran ji. We always say add a ji, Guru ji, Swami ji, right? But this Brahmana is not like us. We always say to describe a Brahmana in Telugu language, you say Juttu, Bottu and Pattu. That's not the Brahmana. It's not like me. I had a Juttu that is gone, Pattu is gone, Bottu, everything is gone. We had to become Brahman. Who is a Brahmana? Brahman Janati iti Brahmana. Such a person who sees only Brahman everywhere. Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi. According to him, everything is only Brahman. And he says that Brahman Janati means it's CIA, constant integrated awareness that everything is only done by the Creator. Incidentally, this Brahmana, in one of the katha, they say he was a poor Brahmana. And in one katha, they made it even worse. They say poor old Brahmana. So this Brahmana, who is a CIA, cannot be young or cannot be rich. He's always holding a begging bowl, panhandling. Bhavati bhiksham dehi. One day he was going on the street in Varanasi. He dropped the bowl and he said, Bhagavan Vishnu, ek baar kshama karo. If I did anything wrong, please forgive me. I should have my own food. And he looked up and prayed to Bhagavan. Bhagavan Vishnu appeared in front of him and he gave a darshan. How did he do that? He also came in the form of a poor old Brahman. And he said, Brahmanji, perform Sri Satyanarayana Swami puja, Ishtakamyartha Siddhirastu, Sarvamangala Praptirastu, Mano Vanchita Pala Siddhirastu Tatastu. He disappeared. So Brahman said, I know Satyanarayana Swami puja. I'm going to go home and check the almanac and see what it is. And next day was Purnima day. He said, tomorrow I'm going to perform Sri Satyanarayana Swami puja. He held the hand like this. This is called the pledge. But he looked around, there was nothing in the house. He said, tomorrow I'm going to go for Bhiksha one last time. And whatever I get is all offered for the Satyanarayana Swami puja. He got 10 times more than what he can get. He did the first puja. The second puja, somebody said, there is a big building open. You want to buy that building? The Chinmaya Giridhara is available. So he goes into Chinmaya Giridhara. Then he went to a big community center. Then a big acres of land. A day came when this Brahmana was sitting in a building. He did not even know that was a golden palace. When we do the Arati, we are going to sing, Buddha Brahman ban kar kanchan mahala kiyo, Om Jaya Lakshmi Ramana. Look at the picture. Brahmana is sitting in the bottom on the left side of Bhagavan Vishnu. Miraji, you want to help them out? All right. His name was Shatananda. Shatananda means 100 times of Ananda. So he had 99 times Ananda, but when he did the Satyanarayana Swami puja, that day he became Shatananda. 100 Anandas, he attained all of them. In the same chapter 2, there was a woodcutter. One day he was coming home. He was so thirsty. He could not bear the thirst. He walked into somebody's house that was none other than Brahmanji's house. Brahmanji was performing nothing other than Satyanarayana Swami puja. And Brahmanji, when the puja was going on, the woodcutter sat in the back. Instead of asking for water, he said, let me do the Satyanarayana Swami puja. And he called the Brahmanji. And he also did the same kind of pledge. He said, tomorrow, whatever the money I earn is all given for the puja. And he did only one puja with the 10 times more than income what he can get, offered everything to that puja. And when he left his body, the human body, he attained moksha and he was at the feet of Bhagavan Vishnu in Vaikuntha. He didn't build a golden palace, but he went to Vaikuntha. All right. Chapter 3, they're giving a different kind of example. There was a Maharaja by name Ulka Mukha. He prayed for his son in the family by performing Satyanarayana Swami puja. He was blessed with a son. In the same place, there was a merchant family. The wife's name is Leelavati. Leelavati and the merchant, they kept on praying for a child in the family, whether it is a boy or a girl. They said, just a santana praptira, santana yogyata siddhirastu. But when they were praying, it was not happening. Somehow that merchant met with the Maharaj. Maharaj was performing Satyanarayana Swami puja. The merchant got so happy. He came home running and he told Leelavati, he said, hey, Maharaja was performing Satyanarayana Swami puja. It was so beautiful. We should perform that. So maybe we will be blessed with a child. Ever merciful Lord might grant us a child. But merchant changed his mind. He said, you know what? If we have a child, then we will perform Satyanarayana Swami puja. He put a condition. Exactly 9 months later, that point was made. Leelavati delivered a beautiful baby girl. Look at the picture. There is a couple standing there on the right side of in the bottom. That girl, that's a beautiful girl. That is Kalavati, and her husband is also a merchant. But let me say how she was growing up. When Kalavati was growing up, the merchant and Leelavati forgot to perform the Satyanarayana Swami puja. A day came when they looked at Kalavati. She was already 16 years, beautiful bride standing there. Merchant came up with a wonderful idea. He said, hey, it is our responsibility to get Kalavati married to a merchant family. At the time of the wedding, last 5 minutes, we will allocate that for Satyanarayana Swami puja, like buy one, get one free kind of a deal. And he did not do the Satyanarayana Swami puja even at the time of the wedding. He forgot. In some of the kathas, they say Bhagavan Vishnu was angry with the merchant. Bhagavan would never be angry. He is a prema swarupa. All right? He will always teach us a lesson in the form of a dream or through a friend, or when the time comes, we will remember what we are supposed to do. What happens was there was a little Maya. A scene was created. The new merchant, the son-in-law and the father-in-law, they had an old boat. They took the boat to the other side of the river. It was called as Ratnasara. The place was full of diamond, jewelry, pearls, and everything. There they wanted to set up a business. The same time, there was a Maharaj by name Chandraketu Maharaj. Somebody stole his kirita and they dropped it in front of these two merchants. Within no time, the merchants were arrested. Leelavati, Kalavati on this side lost everything in the house. Everything became zero. I always say, Brahman and the woodcutter, they all became a zero becomes a hero when you put God as number one. Here, merchant became completely zeroed out because he was away from God. When this happened, Leelavati, Kalavati went to another house where they saw they were performing Satyanarayana Swami puja. What did I say before? Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. Leelavati was crying and she offered the tears and she said, Bhagavan Vishnu, Ekabar Kshama Karo. Tomorrow we are going to perform Satyanarayana Swami puja. Yatha Shakti, Yatha Trupti. Whatever we have, we offer and do it. They didn't even do the puja. Bhagavan Vishnu came in the dream of Maharaj Chandraketu and he said, let go those two merchants. They are wonderful people. You arrested them by mistake. Maharaja woke up in the middle of the night and he met with the merchants and said, hey, I made a big mistake. Please forgive me. Take my apologies. And here is boxes full of diamond jewelry, pearl, and everything. Please go home. By sunset, by sunrise, I want you to be at home for the puja. Go home. And the two merchants are coming home. The two ladies are performing the puja. Everything is back to normal. Somebody came at the door, knocked on the door, and they said, hey, Leelavati, Kalavati, we have a very good news for you. Your husbands are coming. Finish the puja quick. Let's go. Instead of Haribol, they said, hurry up, right? They hurried up in the middle of the puja. They left the puja in the middle. How could you do that? So when they went to the river, there are many versions of this, but I like this one. They saw the two merchants coming there. All of a sudden, there was a black cloud and the two merchants disappeared. Why did they disappear? Because they wanted to learn a lesson. Leelavati said, I know what's going on. Let's go home and finish the puja and come back with all the prasad and everything. So chapter 4 continues here. Bhagavan Vishnu came in the form of an old sadhu or a sage or a merchant, appeared inside the boat and he said, what's going on? What do you have all these things here? And so he said, there is what do you have in these boxes? The two merchants made up a story saying that they do not know what they have in the box. They said, we are farmers. It should be dried leaves, black soil, chemicals, fertilizers, and everything in the boxes. And that's what they had in those boxes. Immediately they said, hey, this person is not just a sadhu. He seems to be Bhagavan Vishnu. They did a pranam. They said, please forgive us. Kshama karo. We had diamond jewelry, pearl, and everything. And Bhagavan Vishnu said, Tathastu. They got everything back, and they are now coming back to their hometown. And the two ladies and everybody are waiting at the river bank. They received everybody, Leelavati, Kalavati, and the merchant. They all got together. And merchant said, leave those boxes right here. We do not want any diamond jewelry, pearl. What we need is only one thing, is that Bhagavan Vishnu. From that day onwards, they started praying to Bhagavan Vishnu, and they continued Satyanarayana Swami puja. They also attained moksha. So good news to everybody. Chapter 5 begins now. Chapter 5 is about another Maharaja by name Angadvaja Maharaja. This Maharaja was always ego. He was the best Maharaj, but he had ahankara. Ahankara and mamakara. Ahankara means I. Mamakara means my. So a day came when he was walking in Naimisha Aranya. He saw some of the boys, the Gokulam, the Yadava boys were performing a small Satyanarayana Swami puja. When they offered him prasad, he refused to accept because he was ego. Ego means edge, guard, out. So if you have ego, God will say, I go. If God say, I go, then you go, he go, she go, everybody go, only ego will stay back. Ego is your worst amigo, all right? So this egoistic person, when he refused the prasad and he was coming back to his palace, the main minister came running and said, Maharaj, what are you doing here? Yesterday was your last day. The enemies have taken over. You lost everything. No more money, nothing. You're zero. A hero becomes a zero when he is away from God. Maharaja immediately realized, and he ran back to those boys and he said, hey boys, come on, let's do a small puja. And he himself is now sitting on the floor and he's saying, do the dupa, deepa, naivedya and everything. And he put his hand together and he says in the Arati, what we say, Dupa Deepa Tulasi Se Raje Satadeva Om Jaya Lakshmi Ramana. So he came back to the palace with all those boys, and the same minister came running and he said, Maharaj, we have been waiting for you. Your lunch is now served. Maharaja said, please take all these boys inside. They are the eye openers. They open my eyes inside and out. So feed them first, and from that day onwards, Maharaja started performing Sri Satyanarayana Swami puja through those boys, and he also attained moksha. It is exactly 12 o'clock now. We are going to finish the rest of the puja and do the arati. Now all of you can stand up, put your hand together. Shankar and Manjula Garu offer the flowers. Om Punah Pujancha Karishye. Chatram Samarpayami, Chamarajam Vijayami, Nrityam Darshayami, Nitam Savayami, Andolikam Arohayami, Ashvana Rohayami, Gajana Rohayami, Samasta Rajopachara, Shakti Upachara, Manushya Upachara and Samarpay. Take water and pour it like this, like Argyam. Yasya Smutya Chatana Murchya Tapa Puja Kriyadisho Yunam Sampurna Tamyati Sandhyo Vande Chamuchitam Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Janardana Yadbhutantu Maya Deva Paripurnam Tadaspute Harihi Om Tatsat Kayena Vacha Manasendriya Buddhyatmanavat Prakrite Svabhavat Karomi Yadyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanaayeti Samarpayami Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. So So everybody hold your hand and touch the pinky. Adya Shanivasare Madhyanika Kale Chinmaya Giridhara Alaye Ramadevi Sameta Shri Satyanarayana Swami Puja Samaye Mantra Lope Tantra Lope Dravya Lope Shraddha Lope Prayashchitartam Achyutaya Namaha Anantaya Namaha Govindaya Namaha. We'll do 3 times. Achyutaya Namaha Anantaya Namaha Govindaya Namaha. One more time. Achyutaya Namaha Anantaya Namaha Govindaya Namo Namaha. Achyutaya Namaha Anantaya Namaha Govindaya Namaha is called as Namatraya Astra, the weapon with the 3 names that can destroy all our difficulties, diseases, and the distress. All right, now we are going to go for the Arati. Everybody line up and come one by one. First of all, get together with your family members, if you know them, and then all of you come together and do the Arati. Jaya Lakshmi Ramana Swami Jaya Lakshmi Ramana Satyanarayana Swami Janapata Kaharana Om Jaya Lakshmi Ramana Ratana Jarata Simhasana Adbhuta Chabiraje Narada Kahata Niranjana Gantadvani Bhaje Om Jaya Lakshmi Ramana Pragata Bhaye Kalikarana Twij ko darsadiyo Uda Brahman Bankar Kandan Mahalakiyo Om Jaya Lakshmi Ramana Durbala Bila Katiye Jan Par Krupa Kare Chandra Chudai Karaja Jinaki Vipata Hare Om Jaya Lakshmi Ramana Payesha Manorata Payo Shraddha Tuj Dini Jopada Bhogyo Prabhuji Paravotsatahini Om Jaya Lakshmi Ramana Bhava Bhakti ke Karan Chin Chin Rupa Dakho Shraddha Dharana Kini Jinke Kaj Saryo Om Jaya Lakshmi Ramana Pala Pala Sangaraja Bana Me Bhakti Kare Manavanchita Paladino Dina Dayalu Hare Om Jaya Lakshmi Ramana Charata Prasada Dasvayo Kadali Palameva Dupadi Patulasi Se Raje Satadeva Om Jaya Lakshmi Ramana Shri Satyanarayana Ji ki Arati Jo koi na ragave Swami Prema Sahita Gave Kahat Shivananda Swami Kahat Hare Hare Swami Manvanchita Pala Pave Om Jaya Lakshmi Ramana Narayana Narayana Om Satyanarayana Narayana Narayana Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Om Jai Lakshmi Ramana. Everybody repeat after me. Swasti Shraddha Medha Yashaha Prajnam Vidyam Buddhim Shriyam Balam Ayushyam Tejaha Arogyam Dehi Me Rama Devi Sameta Sri Satyanarayana Swamine Namo Namaha. We'll do the concluding prayers. Everybody put your hand together. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkhabhat Bhavet Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Lankayate Girim Yatkrupatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidari Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Ayena Vacha Manasendriyerva Buddhyatmana Vat Hridaya Bhavat Karoni Yadakalam Parasmai Narayanaeti Samarpayami Karacharana Krutam Va Kayajam Karmajam Va Shravananayanajam Va Manasam Va Aparadham Vihitam Vihitam Va Sarvametat Kshamasva Jaya Jaya Karunabde Shri Mahadeva Shambho Jaya Jaya Karunabde Shri Sainatha Shambho Hari Om Tat Sat Hara Namah Parvati Pataye Hara 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 Mahadeva Jai Bolo Shankara Bhagavan Ki Sarvatra Guru Maharaj Ki Sarvatra Govinda Nama Sankirtanam Govinda Govinda Siyavar Ramachandra Ki Jai Pavana Sutta Hanuman Ki Jai Umapati Mahadeva Ki Jai Jai Bolo Rama Devi Sameta Shri Satyanarayana Swami Bhagavan Ki Jai Jai Bolo Sarvatra Guru Maharaj Ki Chinmayananda Ji Ki Hari Om. So Miraji, take the kalasham and sprinkle the water on everybody. Om Yagnena Yagnamay Janta Devaha Tani Dharmani Pradhamanya Dehanakam Mahimanas Sachante Yatra Purve Sadhya Santi Devaha Yau Shantirantarikshagum Shanti Prithvi Shanti Rapaha Shanti Roshadayaha Shantir Vanaspadayaha Shantir Vishve Devaha Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvagum Shanti Shanti Redhi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti